All right, so just going over sort of the overview here. Last time I implemented the sort of generalized integration to spawn special chunks, where that meant just basically chunks where the normal AI director and like platform spawner isn't sort of in charge and like enemies can't go in there and stuff like that. So yeah, special chunks. And then the most basic version of that special chunk is a rest area. And then the slightly more complicated version that I added last time was the shop. But it wasn't sort of the final version of the shop. I'm going to do the hopefully more final version of the shop today. The shop, as of last week, you just sort of jump into stuff to buy it if you have the money. But I want to switch it to you like walk up to the shopkeeper and then you're like in the shop, and so it can show descriptions and a more robust UI and stuff like that. Done decent chunk of work offline between streams here. I switched to a different player sprite that is fully animated. Those special chunks, I move them to the side so they're kind of like in their own thing and they're not messing with the height of the tower. And also just like a variety of minor things. So here I can actually hop in and show some of that real quick before getting into today's stuff. So yeah, let me get this at one. So yeah, this sort of multicolored humanoid guy is the new player sprite. My understanding is I haven't used Asperites, but I think it has something to do with that. Even in Paint.net, just having the sort of the bones of the animation be distinctly colored makes it a lot easier to change it if you want to. I probably will change it to something else before the end. I'm not sure exactly what yet. But yeah, it's really it's set up in a great way to allow like overlaying something else on top of these same like bones and animation. So that is very cool. So hopping into the game. Can see right away it's got a more involved idle, just bouncing up and down a bit there. I also I added better coin sprites. Before I was just doing gold hearts for coins, just as like a quick thing to keep moving, but it didn't look very good in like the grand scheme of the scene or whatever. So yeah, switch them out to coins. That's one of the minor improvements there. Yeah, let me hop around. I can show off some stuff. We got. I still am doing the same kind of squishing to make the jump feel better, but I also have, you know, jump animations here. It's based on your height, so like it actually is switching to different frames when it reaches the peak of the jump arc here. You can see it takes longer for it to switch to those down frames now. And it also has a distinct double jump animation, this like air roll thing. So yeah, here's an example of a special chunk off to the side. Got ZZZ for a rest area. So yeah, this isn't really doing anything. All it's doing is stopping the advancing death box and just sort of giving you a moment to chill if you want. In the future, and maybe even like now, today, in the future, there could be upgrades that interact with these rest areas. Like you could say like, spawn some coins every time, or spawn an upgrade in every rest area type deal. Just like you could put stuff in here based on upgrades. But the base version of it is nothing. It's just a safe place to hang out where you're not being chased by the death box. The death box does resume as soon as you leave. Uh-oh. It might catch me and I won't get to show my stuff. Uh-oh. Tree. Oh, I'm dead. Also got a little bit of a death animation there. Zoom in on the guy. He falls over. It's cool. But I want to go to the shop to show that. I'll pay more attention and I went faster. Yeah, I definitely feel like more animated character makes it more fun to jump around. It feels more responsive. And and there were a number of small problems I was running into with like interweaving these special chunks that I think putting them off to the side is gonna fix. Hey. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was so happy to see this. This guy even only... This animated character is like still actively being updated. And so it'll have more animations in the future. Yeah, you can see I made he said like Yub Guantanamos or whatever. This is one of the things I aim to fix today, is that I'm just lazy doing scale.x equals -1 to flip these over to the side, but that doesn't work for text. So I'll probably go through and fix this text today as a part of improving the shop. Anyway, let's just to the top here. Uh-oh. I can get hit. I have nothing to heal. Oh, one. I said something. Double check. Yeah, cool stuff. Oh no. Saved by the damage. Coming to the top, it's 200. I'm at 160. I'm still not even seeing the warning yet. I think I'll make it. Alright, cool, we made it. So let's just jump down to our death, and then get started with working on stuff. Yeah, I mean, yes, you will not be at 999 live. This is all just temp, which is a good segue here to, I can show off. Alright, so I'll say in brief, this time we're looking at upgrades. I have this already kind of planned out, so there shouldn't be a lot of fumbling around. I know these are famous last words, but the basic idea is I'm going to have a base class that sets up a bunch of subscriptions that are basically just no-op virtual functions. So then to make an upgrade, I can say like, oh, on spawn rest area, all I have to do is override that. It does the thing. And the base, like the most common one would be on buy, I think, which would potentially change properties of the player. So yeah, here I have the notes here where stuff like on buy, on special chunk spawn, on damage, on death, on jump, maybe. But the idea is that the base class would just be this sort of shared center of boilerplate event subscription that then the derived classes could override to do whatever. On no damage recently. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, is it something I wrote in here? Maybe. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I think maybe like a on combo rising for an amount of, I hit the wrong key. Rising for an amount of time without being hit. I don't think falling should count. Or maybe there can be 2 tiers. Events where you just need to not be hit. And I can also pop in here the sort of big picture task list. Like next is like within a week or two. We're going to try and do these upgrades today. We're going to make the shop discrete instead of squishy. Then later this weekend, I'm going to work on the grow shader. I would like to get that working by next week. Also, improve the particles. Right now, it's pretty Unity defaulty, and they're all using the sort of pink previous player color. Generalized global values, that's related to, I'm using the health system as money, which actually introduced a small bug where you need money plus one, because I can't let you spend all your money, because if you spend all your money thinks it died, like your money is dead, and then you can't get money anymore. So yeah, I need to separate that out to a generalized global value class. And also debug controls would be something on that list. Then later, I think maybe this 200 height that I've been doing is testing could be a good amount. But I want to split this up into levels. Similar Downwell, you get an upgrade or something at the end of the level. After so many levels, there's a boss. Maybe after every level. I don't know. One-way platforms, I think these are important for a difficulty curve. I would rather have one-way platforms in the beginning, and then transition to more blocky platforms later on. I think one-way platforms are easier. Jump fine-tuning, it's hard to describe. It's just really getting this working well. Maybe I would add that to maybe. You'll be surprised, at least with my catapult game. I don't know if you remember that. I had made that nested catapults game, right? And that was one of the games I managed to sell licenses to. But they asked that I add like a couple more levels. And so I thought, oh, moving platforms, easy choice. Such a tremendously annoying physical problem, like unexpectedly so. It just like messes everything up in ways like you wouldn't expect it to. But I'll put a maybe. Because that also reminded me I want crumble platforms for later. Later levels. Crumble platforms for sure, moving platforms maybe. Oh, and slippery platforms as well. Crumble, slippery, slippery, slow platform. But yeah, it definitely could have a place from like a game design perspective if I snapped my fingers and it worked perfectly well on the first try and didn't introduce any bugs or weird interactions. But I can almost 100% guarantee that it will introduce bugs and weird interactions. It's such a unexpected can of worms that is moving platforms. Anyway, let's go back to our stream notes, or we can go back to, I guess, the stream task board here and see what this is a different task board. Stream. Look what we got here set out for 627. Foundation for upgrades generalized. All right. So we're going to need a new script for this. We'll start with that base class. So I'm going to put it under player, I think. I'm going to put modifier. I'm not going to call this stuff upgrade. I'm going to call it modifier. Just because if I ever want to do like kiss curse or debuffs, it could also potentially be useful to go through this modifier framework. So first up is modifier base. Just wanted to check that that was still good. All right. All right. Visual Studio should reload here. All right. I also saw the other thing here. Notes modifier firmware as a potential future on heal on overheal. Probably just on heal, I think. And then maybe care about overheal. So that's the thing. All the base class has to do is just set up these subscriptions, like set up the pipes. You can care whether the individual components can potentially care whether or not they're overhealing. Why is OneNote telling me that? Interesting. I'm gonna delete this. Yeah. On heel, can care about over heel, maybe. All right, so modifier base class. I'm gonna bring this up on my other monitor so I can see like what events I care about. All right. So I think the most basic one to do first is probably on buy. Yeah, let's start small and build this out. That's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, so this is an abstract class for starts. Virtual, void, on, buy, protected. And it's a no op by default. And what else? Yeah, I guess nothing else. I guess the only other thing would be to get the player, which I guess what's the best way to pass the player? I was gonna just say I'll put the upgrades on the player, but that's not how it works. Like originally the upgrades are gonna live on a shop item, right? Um, but I guess I'm thinking of like the spawn events as I think it should live on the player. I think I'll give the player like an upgrade cache component or something that knows it's expecting modifier bases, and then when it's added to that cache, I'll call on buy. And then yeah, I think that's fine. We'll see how it works out. See if we run into a problem. So it just, I guess it's just a public thing. Protected. Game object, I guess, and player. And then public set player. So when you're in shop mode, the shop if you buy it, will already have the player because it needs to have the player to have the player's money to check if it can afford things. So I guess I'm wondering if it's better to just add this to the player. I think that's what I do want to do. And then it can be an awake. So I should make a note of that though. This is for the version of the upgrade that is actively functioning and that lives on the player and is actively functioning. So player not needed, it's just game object. It already exists as a built-in. And then just on file, let me check something. Can I just say like game object add component? Yeah. So I'll just do game object add component. When this is bought, add to player or most likely a player child with game object add component. Okay. So that sort of clarifies how these things might interact. We'll see if that works out well. But that just means on by. You can just go and start, I think. And I also probably want some deriveds just to keep the relationship crystal clear. Because I know I sometimes have it be that it's not clear like whether base or derived is actually calling like the built-in functions like start and awake. Oh, because I copy pasted. I should have done this the other way. I'll copy paste the other way. Okay. Okay, so this all looks good to me. And I guess I want to make a new version of this. Well, for that most basic of components, the health. The most basic upgrade ever is increase the player's health. So that is a C# script. We'll call it a modifier increase health. Okay. This is a modifier base that needs to override on by. Right? Oh, right. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I was working in the wrong component. All right, get rid of these. We just do protected virtual override void on by. And this is going to game object, get components, QHA health. Set max health. I think it's fine. Serialized field. Well, I guess my wonder is if I'm setting it at runtime, what's the point of having a serialized field? Because that's replacing objects into the world and then modifying the properties. I'm not going to be placing objects into the world. I'm going to be dynamically spawning them. So let's just make it a private const for now. I think I would be like maybe a templated, like a generic, I guess you call it in C#. We get the max, we set the max to the max plus the increase amount. No, it has no type. All right. Based on, let's just wait a second. Oh, never mind. What was I thinking? I was thinking that I just have to give this to the player and it should automatically work. It'll trigger its on buy in the first frame. So let's set our player's health back down to something reasonable, but then also give him this upgrade and then hope to see it show up at reasonable +2. All right, so I put his max health at 18, and then I'm going to add a new child object called player objects or player modifiers and add the component modifier increase health. Okay, so I would expect, well, first I have to fix a compile error. Found no C. Oh, yeah, it just didn't save that file is all. Oh, right. If I'm gonna have the pattern of it being on a child object, I need to do get component in parent. What do I want to see? Right, I set it at 18, so it should be 20, and it is. If then I go to my player modifiers, remove this increase health, I want to see it fall back down to 18. Great. So that's simple, but that is the that's point of a proof of concept, right? Is to do the simple version of it. I think I can cross off one thing here, maybe two. Let's see. Foundation for upgrades generalized. Half done. I only did the simplest one, so I'll leave that open for now. It wants the text flip the shop. Okay. Yeah, I guess. All right. So yeah, the path I kind of have set out here is, all right, I have the base for upgrades. I proved the point, but now I need some way to, test out a decent chunk of upgrades. I don't want to make a throwaway pickup system if that's not my long-term intention. I know I'm going to put them in the shop. So let's fix the quick issue with the shop with the fix flip -1. Then let's expand the shop to discrete like set shop state. Once you have discrete set shop state, we can sell upgrades in the shop and we can flesh out the upgrade system. Makes sense to me. So, fixing the shop. Let me take a look at it. I'm going to jump up into the shop and hopefully get a left flipped shop that's like has the broken text. And then I can just play around with the properties in the scene editor and maybe find something that just solves my problem for me. Even if it doesn't, I can hopefully get some positions here. All right, dang. Bad luck, rest area for the first, then shop on the right. Worst case scenario, if I get to the top, a right shop is good enough to figure it out, I think. But I would prefer a left shop. We did it. It's a left shop. Alright. Pause the game. And we find that shop in the scene view. Alright. Shop 0 clone. If Change it right? Does that fix? Okay, that's the start of fixing it. Offset Z, character size, line spacing, anchor. I don't think any of these were, unless maybe upper right anchor? No, that's just the position. Dang, I was really hoping I could just get this for free, but I'm gonna have to do more offset work. All right, what we do, set this to negative 0.5, and then we just need to figure what offset is called for. It's probably just the negative version of this. Oh no, because that's already negativized. Maybe just double? Triple? I think that's all I'm gonna do here. Oh wait, I guess I can't. Oh, I just need to, and then flip those. Those are fine. This is relying on the flip for its position and its position basically. So I have to post fix this position, but for the hearts, I can just unflip them. They're not. Oh, are they? Fuck. Oh, they totally are. This sucks. Let's worry around this. What if I move the tile map to a separate object? I think that's something. Let's try that. So let's open up that prefab. That is not the right area. What the heck? Oh, it's under platforms. That's kind of confusing. Okay. I think let's flip it and see what happens. So that's what we expect to happen. But then what if I also flip this? Aha, because the text specifically is a child. And maybe that's what I should do. Yeah, that's what I need to do here. I just put the text on like a dolly. So shopkeeper text here. I just make an empty object that is shopkeeper text parent on the shop. I want to move it up to here. Text goes under it. We set the text position to 0, 0. That size has to be that. It's, yeah. I can't get a mesh size lower than 1, so that's just font size. But then we can move this, right? And then only scale this. Let's flip it back. Let's put it in position it should be, but not on the text, on the parent. Bam. And then the parent here, I might need to change the pivots. I don't know, let's see. Aha! Wait, I did it, right? -1. Okay, that wasn't that bad. So the follow-up in our script is where we spawn those special chunks, where we spawn the shop. We'll just flip the text back. So that is in chunks platform spawner. I find special. And I think I need to get the prefab back. Trying to think of the best way to do this. I'm definitely going to return the spawn chunk from this helper function. I guess I just put this into 3 blocks. That's what it is. Just let me be a little bit lazy, but let's just do this instead. Okay. Shop. Get rid of this. And then actually I want a game object spawned shop. And I don't actually care about the rest area. I might in the future, but I don't for now. And then down here, if spawn shop is not null, we'll flip all the text. Text requires a header. I think it's UI. Oh, but it's not text. It is a text mesh. So I don't need this. And I undo components because I just want to do it to all of them. So go through all the sprite text and flip its X scale back so it reads left to right again. And that's fine as long as it is not relying, it has no X position, which we just added a parent in between, so it will have no local X position. So for each of these text, transform, local scale. New vector 3 of just negative scale.x, scale.y, scale.z. And then this equals this. Oh, and now we actually need to return that from our helper function. Spawn special chunk, private game object, turn new chunk. All right. Let's double check. I think we set the shop to -1, which is going to make it wrong. Oh, wait. Hold on. That actually reminds me. If it's... Oh, fuck. Let's switch the order of these so that I can actually, in every case, use B-right to determine the orientation of the shop. So if the spawn shop is not null and not B-right, which means the spawn shop was spawned on the left, then we do the flipping. We don't always do the flipping. And then we also need to revert back the state of this prefab to not have -1s and stuff to like undo our testing. All right, I think that should work. Maybe it should work. That doesn't look right. Okay, yeah, the problem is the anchor is the upper left. It needs to be the middle center, I think. And then when I set the position, like the positions will line up. And I can verify that by flipping back to -1 and then flipping the text back to -.3. Yeah, pretty much. It's not perfect, but pretty much. So let's flip that back. Flip this back. I think we just actually need to move it. Cool. Oh wait, not you. The text never moves. The parent needs to move a tiny bit. Okay, I think that's all I need to do here. And they should be spawned right correctly in the thing. So again, we're hoping for a left shop. Make this bigger. There's a right rest area. That doesn't affect the odds at all, though. Yeah, right shop. I guess I should go in the right shop and make sure it didn't flip the texts when it wasn't supposed to. Yep, looks good. Got a right rest area. If it's 3 and 4, then we're on 6. Okay, yeah, there's a left shop up there. Motherfuckers will let me get there. Oh, those edge trees are pretty BM. There's a lot of stuff in here that's 2 BM for the first level. Yeah, looks good. Text flip fixed. Cool. Alright, the discrete shop state. I think this is the biggest rock. On our shopkeeper here, I want to add basically like a collision box in front of the shop, man, that the player can interact with. So let's make that 2D object sprite. Just gonna use a square for now. Probably an effect later, particle effect perhaps. Here, put this like that, like 1/2, maybe 2. Make it the same color as the guy. I should also close this off so it's obvious you're not supposed to do that anymore. So say do that. Da, da, da. I don't like that. I want it to be up here, there. I think that's good enough. Like that. Da, da, da. Getting there. I was thinking they should have like half alpha. This needs to be at least 2 wide, I think. I don't want to do any more on the below, so I'll just move these stuff over to the right. Something like that, that. And then we just put in the corner pieces. Corner piece. Oh, this is annoying. This isn't wide enough. It needs to be like this. Another corner piece, opposite direction. There, that's good enough. What is this one? I need a corner. This corner? Am I dumb? What am I missing here? Oh, it's... I think I need to go I need to go like in. And I erase this one. And there, now I think I can complete the rest of this. I think there's still something wrong there. I need to swing around the edge. There. This little bit here is not right, I don't think. Just need to be moved over? No. Honestly, I'll just move it up. I don't care. I don't want to. This is not like the thing to spend time on, you know? There. That pretty much. Oh, I can't have the freaking edge of the bubble out though. So annoying. So annoying. Alright, up, I guess. Up. And then just down. And then I can use internal blocks, I think. Yeah. And then let's move our boyos over here. Four point four, 6.43. What are you at? 6.5, 6.5. 4.5, 6.5, and then I can do like 3 or 4, and I can also do different layouts if I want to offer different shops. But let's do 3 for now. Six dot five. All right, cool. Enter shop box. So we'll need a new layer. I'm all about layers. Oh no, they can only have 31 layers. I might run out. Enter shop. It'd be pretty funny if this isn't even more performant. If like it's actually super expensive to sort collision layers. I would be shocked if that were the case, though. It seems like the benefit here is you can throw out the collisions very early. Like the thing you want to avoid is the actual collision math, not determining what things should try to collide. Anyway, so we got a player mat type thing, enter shop. This will need a new component. I'll call it. I'm thinking shop. I just like it seems like such a trivial thing, like what I'm gonna name the component, but the name is kind of like a proxy for how much responsibility I want to give it, like how much I want to subdivide the responsibility. And I think I just start with shop, just put it all in one, and then spread it out as it calls for it. Okay, this will also need a box collider. Um, that is a trigger in the enter shop layer. We have the shop component. Okay. Now we go to our shop component. We want to listen to that trigger. No filtering required. We already did the filtering at the level of collision layers. But I guess we probably want a private bool m in or m player in shop, starting out false. And here, if the player is not in the shop, then we'll do enter shop. I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. Private void enter shop. Okay. Player in shop. Just enter shop, I think. And then at the end of this, player in shop true, but more. Game object player. Collision.game object. Passing to our helper there. Okay, the player's in the shop. Player should not be allowed to move and should not be allowed to jump. We need to disable the player's default input listeners and enable a new kind of shop input listener that will control the shop here. So let's see how the player is controlled real quick here. We switch out of our prefab shop into the players, into the main scene. We can see the player. Player has these input listeners. That's why I should just disable. Get component in. I guess it should just be get component. I expect the main player to be colliding here. Get component. I need all of them. Q, INL, iMovement. I guess I should clarify. The only reason there are two here is it's just a lazy way of having it do both arrows and Waseda. So I need to get both of the movement listeners to turn them both off. INL moves. So INL is input listener. Disable, enabled equals false. Actually, I guess I will eventually have another one. So I can say 0 is I guess I don't want it to be an INL movement. That would be, yeah, so this is fine. I was thinking, wait a second, do I need an INL movement for my shop thing? And I think no. If I do want to use an input listener base, I'll just do a new thing. So yeah, we can disable them all here. For each INL move and INL moves, INL move dot disable enabled equals false. Hey, look, I made the same mistake twice in a row in like 30 seconds. And then also get component QINL jump dot enabled equals false. Okay, so when you step in there, you can't move or jump, is what I would expect. Let's confirm that before we move on. And there's no way to get out of that right now. You'll be trapped forever. Oh, I gotta use the higher one. Alright, the shop. I'm pretty sure rest is on 3 and shop is on every 4th chunk, so it should be next. Oh my god, not if I fall. Oh my god. Oh god, I hope I don't. I'll make it, I'll make it. I'm outrunning it. It's getting less serious. Alright, we did it. Oh no! Crashed. What happened? Shop 22, shop 13, shop 22, shop 13. It was unable to find a jump collider or an input listener for the jump on the player. I think I need to. Yeah, using more collision modifiers. Well, no, player modifiers, this shouldn't matter. It should have been on the player. Q INL jump, it's definitely there. Why didn't you find it? I should have debugged that. Let's debug it. Oh, I'm like, what's happening? It's just a longer time to start up the game with the debugger attached. And I have random breakpoints. No compatible code running. Ugh, killing me, game. Try again. All right. Turn off the debugger, turn off the game, turn on the debugger. Wait. Make sure the game is responsive, which it's not right now. That's why we wait. I don't know if this is like a computer problem. My computer's starting to get decently old. It's only got like a 1080 in it. All right, but now our game is responsive again. Now we start the game. We get a delay because we're attaching a debugger, but in the end it worked out. Cool stuff. Alright, we're trying to get up to chunk 4 where there will be a shop. And we're trying to understand why our shop routine was unable to find the jump on the player to disable the player's jump. Okay. First, I want to make sure, is this the player? It seems to be. I truly do not understand what's going on here. Wait, is it this? What is this? No, that's the... That should be the, like, underlying auto-generated Unity action map. I don't think that's what I want. But I'm gonna see if this works. Or I don't expect this to work, but maybe it'll make it... Maybe I'm getting something else? I don't know. I truly don't understand what the problem is here. Oops. I shouldn't have stressed my computer like that. So we stop. Then we stop the game. Game responsive. Cool. Start the debugger. Still responsive. And go into the game. Alright, I'll try again. I'm not gonna throw away my debugging session as quickly there. I'm gonna try and take a closer look, figure what's going wrong. Hopefully the slight difference in code there will make it easier to observe whatever component is returned if one is returned. Although it's probably going to be the case, I think, that nothing will be returned. But yeah, I'll just need to take a closer look. Alright. Oh, I should have muted it before. Final moves. Oh, this also didn't find it. Huh. Is this not a component? No, it is. What the hell? So the only it's not the jump. The moves also failed, and the only reason the moves didn't fail is because they're in a loop. So it's saying like, hey, I found 0 moves. Tell me more about this player. I have no idea. Really, no idea what's wrong here. It does definitely seem to be the player. But at runtime, I'm not seeing the player have the input listeners I expect. Maybe they're... I see them right there, right? Am I going crazy? I truly don't understand what's going wrong here. So enemy shop and player. Only the player, not the player money. Oh, is it on the player money? Player money, no. Yeah, that's the only collision. Enter shop. I am very much scratching my head at what is wrong with this player. That I am not seeing the components I expect on him. Maybe I'll restart the game, see if the actual player in the running game is any different. Doesn't seem to be. I wonder if it's maybe related to multiple colliders. It seems like a possibility. Why don't we have it only connect with player modifiers? Let's have this player modifier child deal with the shop. I don't know if that's the answer, but I know it'll rule out some possible wrong things. Player modifiers. Okay. Player modifiers. Add a capsule collider. It just has to be kind of right. This doesn't have to, this is when you're walking into a shop, so like, yeah, good enough. Let's just make it go to the ground. Cool. And then in here, it's get component in parent. Get components in parent. Component in parent. Let's try that. Okay, so the theory of the bug here would be that either... Oh wait, hold on, let me fix my physics collision matrix and then I'll explain. I only want player modifiers to collide with enter shop for now. If I want to add more colliders in the future, I will. And then I also want to remove enter shop player. We're going to rely on the modifiers only. So yeah, the theory of the bug in this case is that the player being a composited of multiple colliders could potentially cause problems with triggering multiple times or triggering on an unexpected part of the player. So the issue with triggering multiple times is the first pass could potentially disable it, and then it wouldn't be able to find it in subsequent passes. Nope. 14. Same problem. Oh, I'm so dumb. I see it. Do you see it? I'm highlighting it. I'm highlighting the problem. The problem is fully highlighted. Now the question is, do I go back and undo my like collision layers? I don't think I do. I think it's fine. But the problem is I was saying get components in parent of the shop. The shop doesn't have these things. The player does. It's okay. You have to do a dumb thing every once in a while to remain humble. It's important. All right. I think it should be fixed now. Oh my god, I'll just use the edge. I might be too far. Alright, do you work? Yeah, I have lost complete control of the player as expected, and we did not crash the game. It's great stuff. Alright. Now, I think what I want to do next is... I guess there are two ways I can go. I can either advance the shop state and then add the controller after, or add the controller first and then they advance kind of alongside each other at the same time. I think I do the second one. But I am gonna check my GitHub really quick here. So I remember on the environment defense, tower defense thing I did, that one game jam, I'm pretty sure I have an example in there of setting up events in code rather than in like the Unity UI, which I find like kind of annoying. I find the Unity UI kind of annoying, so I want to see if I can find a way to yeah. Here, I think this is all I need. So here's an example from the from that game. But I can follow this same procedure to set up my own input listener. So, shop. We'll need the input system. Oh no, I lost my copy. And we'll do private. I want to see what type it is. Let me check here. It is an input action. This is my shop input. And on awake, we say shop input is a new input action. And then we're also going to need a private void on enable and on disable. Click listener. So shop enable disable. This is just like a cleanliness thing that if I say, hey, shop disable yourself, this input here that is associated with the shop will also disable itself. But actually, no, I don't want it to enable itself. Okay. So how do I add a binding for that? Here's my example binding. Oh, I guess it's 1-to-1. Oh yeah, these are just I guess that's the downside of doing it this level. All I care about is left, right, and confirm. Maybe I don't know. Well, fine. Click insert. I think do keyboard A. So that was what shop input left. You see how like I use A for my Waseda default setup, which is like kind of a problem. It shows limitations here, of specifying individual bindings rather than like using an input action map. I don't know. It might be worth to go through the Unity thing, but not right now. Keyboard space. All right, and then, well, outside of these, I like to put all the automatic Unity functions at the very bottom. So any custom like private helpers go higher up. So on input left, on input right, on input confirm. We subscribe all these functions. I need an input action callback, I think. I need for these other ones too. Turn off insert mode that nobody has ever turned on purpose. I want to put this in a helper, I think, so that I can call it from the game logic perspective, rather than, I don't want to disable this whole shop. Basically, I want it to go one way, not both ways. I want to be able to enable and disable the shop from game logic, but if I don't want the game logic to disable this whole thing. But I do want disabling this whole thing to disable the game logic, if that makes sense. I think we're pretty much on pace here, but I am going to try and speed up a tiny bit. Okay, on disable, we call that disable helper. And then when we enter shop, we would enable that helper. And then I believe there's already a component for buyable items. We're gonna have to rework what it does because we're not like smashing into it anymore. Let's take a look. Modifier, chunks, shop item base. Cost on trigger enter. Yeah, I just need to change this to respond to something else. But shop item base is probably a good thing to do. I guess it would be a serialized field. Num private int num shop items. Because right now I just have the hearts in there, but like I need to set up a thing for them to be spawned in here. Okay, num shop items will default to 3. Private int private vector 2 m shop items start pos. I'm just gonna use my base shop for the default values here. Oh, does it matter? It does matter if it's flipped, doesn't it? God damn it. I hate. Well, no, I'll just do it in local positions. Chunks, or I'm looking at the wrong thing. Prefabs, wrong prefabs. Resources, prefabs. Uh, enemies, collectibles, platforms, special, shop. All right, first heart here, you at 2.5, 6.5. Is that not allowed? Really? Oh, cool. And then how much they're offset between each other. Okay. Then on awake, we'll have to make an array. So that's an array of shop item base, shop items, initially null. Shop items. Is a new array or a new shop item base of size and shop items. Okay, so now we have an array to fill our shop items, so we need to pick them. So we're gonna have to move to dynamic loading. Let's pop into the game, jump around, make sure nothing is broken, make sure it compiles, hop into a shop. Just make sure, just because I have to do so much work in a row here, without double checking. Like, I'm only gonna find out at the end if all this works. So let's just go through and make sure things don't crash every so often. Because then, it just, all that really does is save you from having to find two problems. You know what I mean? I might introduce one or more problems anytime I start the game, but if every so often I'm checking, I maximize the odds that I'll only ever have to deal with one problem at a time. Which is way easy. If you know just one thing is off, you're in a much easier situation. If if like two things could potentially be off, they could be off in complementary ways that make it harder to find each bug, or they could be covering each other up, or you could be attributing one bug to one solution and it's wrong. But yeah, so good idea to periodically run the game. All right, yeah, we're gonna need a new spawn data manager. So I can show that spawn data manager base. This was just a code cleanup. This is one of the things I said I would try and do offline. It's still just doing the dumb guess and check, but it's at least like in a base class and functionized now to the point where, all right, this is the function I need to fix if I want to fix this. And I did try and fix it with something called segment trees, but I found it to be too difficult. I couldn't get it 100% working. I have it in a branch to potentially bring it in later, but I just, as I was sort of like getting bogged down in the weeds of getting that 100% working to the point that I could really trust it, I had to sort of do the cost benefit analysis of like, I have no observable performance problems, and I'm spending like many hours trying to implement a sophisticated solution to optimize performance. Why? It just seemed dumb. I hope to, I mean, I imagine by the time I actually do final release, there will be something else here, unless I profile it and it like truly is just so cheap. But for now, I'm leaving it. And I need another one of these. I need the same idea to determine what to spawn in the shop. So when Unity's like, hey, I saw you clicked around a bunch. Would you mind if I took forever to load? So under spawnables, I'll make a new thing that is shop item spawn manager. And I want to look at the collectible spawner as an example, I think. Shop item spawn manager has a class here of a shop item spawn data. I think I actually might need to do 2 levels of this, because then I can do a templated version of it, right? Is this not how you do a template? Oh, you just put the T in there. Okay. That's public class shop item spawn data T. Shop item spawn database. I don't know if this is going to be the best way, but I'm just thinking in terms of I have like actual mono behavior types as the thing I want to assign to the player, so I need some way to designate them. I'll see. I'll see. Collectible spawner. We first have a spawn data array. Shop item spawn data. And then we have to initialize it in awake, probably. Awake. Let's look what we're doing in collectible spawner. Yeah, this. Why don't you have load prefab? It should exist. Oh, because I understand. It's just IntelliSense gets lost, basically, if oops, wrong thing. This is what I meant to do. Does that not fix it? Really? Load prefab should be in the base. Oh, I didn't set it the base class. Okay. So now you know about load prefab. Cool. We have to move our shop item prefabs to the buyable prefab folder. So resources, prefabs, shop, I guess. Oh, cool. We already have a folder here. Then I'm gonna fix these colors to be consistent with the other colors. Pop, pop, no position offsets either. Collider, no need. We can keep this. This other viable heart, no position offset. This is gonna be green or teal is the other color. And then a gold heart for viable heart 3. Or viable heart 2, I guess. F57. I'm not really that worried about the cost relationships at this point. I just want to see different colors spawn in the shop. Cool. Set these to 1 and 2. I don't think I need to do anything in update. But I lost a parent somehow. Alright. Yes, now I just need the thing to call. Where I think I would just take a difficulty and I would then feed that into the system. But I'm gonna go through and give these all like the maximum difficulty range so I don't need to worry about that factor at this point. Yeah, I guess these all need this. So let me, it is a spawnable data. Yeah, from 1 to 99 is all good. All right. So now it should be able to spawn through that base class. But Oh, is it not even calling the base class? Oh yeah, I did it for the other thing. That makes sense. But I can do it here. So I just need to get, I think I just want to get the objects back. Um, I guess now's my question. Can I store a type? Yes, I can. Public T modifier type. Or public type modifier type equals T. Right? Is that not it? I thought you could do this. Maybe not in C sharp. Oh, I would have to do a fucking interface. The short version is no, you kind of can't. So we're just gonna say get shop item from a difficulty. And then in our, I forget what the spawn data manager base, get spawn index. Difficulty NRS shop item spawn data return as shop item spawn data get spawn index. A. What else? Inaccessible due to protection level. Really? It's protected, isn't it? Oh, I have to call get spawn data. It does. It wants to do it. That's fair. I don't want to have to do this a million times. Eh? The prefab. All right. So we head back to our, oh, I guess I should do my periodic jump around, make sure it compiles check. This looks pretty fine, but I'm just gonna jump up to a rest area or a shop, just make sure that's cool. I guess I should do a shop, really. Let's pop in and out real quick. What's going on here? Nothing. Okay, and I walked into here and I lost my control, which is pretty much what we expect to happen. Okay. But when our shop spawns, it needs to shop item manager. Isn't this supposed to be static? I guess not. I guess I put it in start. Why is the stop item manager not static? I don't see a reason it shouldn't be. This is RDS. Can I do this? gonna say this isn't static, but there's no reason this can't be, right? Yeah, that should be static. I shouldn't be handing around this like single source of truth. All right, shop item, Swan Manager, shop. On, so yeah, now I don't have to do it on, well, yeah, I did. No, I don't. I can just say for int I equals 0, I should actually just make a helper function for this, I think. Spawn shop items. Okay. And I equals 0, I is less than m shop items, plus I, m shop items, I is shop item spawn manager, get spawn item, needs to be public. And I'll just put difficulty 0 because it doesn't matter at this point. What's the problem? Right. Shop item base. Okay, this needs to not be, this should just be game objects because I care about the whole composite, not just the not just the shop item component, because I can just get the shop item component off this. Okay. So I'll do this however many times, in this case 3. All this does is get a prefab though. This isn't actually what we want. We want prefab is this, and then we instantiate the prefab. The position is m shop item start plus I times m shop item offset. And then we instantiate prefab at pos with no rotation. I think this is spelled wrong. Yeah. And that object is m shop item I. Okay. So we just call that function now. I guess in start. We could do, I'm pretty sure awake would work, but since it's spawned at runtime, but whatever. Start us also, okay. All right. So what do we expect to see now is the shop should have a different amount of stuff in it. It should have the base stuff I haven't gotten rid of yet, but it should also have a round of stuff that's spawned in. Uh-oh. We crashed when it tried to spawn the shop. On line 35, you're saying? Online spawn data manager base 35? What? Oh, I didn't pass the array? I do not understand. Oh, yeah, now I understand the problem. I can make it static, but I still have to put one of them in the world for this awake to generate the data structure. All right. So what do we expect to change? We just don't crash. And then, yeah, we see 6 things in the shop instead of 3. Alright, there's our shop. Oh no, I fell. Back up there. Ah, I tried the damage boost myself, didn't make it. I could just make the jump. Alright. So we pause the game. Click, I have to look in the scene view. Viable heart, 1, 2, 3. It doesn't look like it has done anything here. Why don't you spawn things? Did I actually call the thing? I should. Oh, wait, I don't know, to find it, I should say shop items you know what? It's probably in a random ass spot. It's probably somewhere. But this position is not right. This position is after. I need to set the parent to at least the shop. I think I have to set the parent to something else. Transform. And then after that, I set the position. Okay. So we spawn the prefab. We set the position. We set the parent equal to the shop, and then after we have set the parent, we set the local position. Jumping, trying to get to our shop. Shop is spawned, so we're at least past 1 round of crashes, potentially. What you got? Alright. Our stuff is in the wrong-ish position, but it's like close. It spawned it in. This is progress. Now, the follow-up question is why you like this. What? Oh, because... Okay, I see. So that made them children of that and not this. So this shop.cs is actually like on the welcome mat spawn box. So if I want the shop parent, it's actually transform.parent. So we're sending up our chunks. There's number 3. Here's number 4. Pretty much that is the correct position. Let's see if we can find what's it called? A right side shop. See if the position is also correct there. The text isn't flipped, but or maybe the text is flipped. Another left side shop, unfortunately. That's Z fighting. I think there's only one more shop before we get to the top of the map, so here's hoping. Yeah, there's one final level where they're on the same level. Chunk number 12. Oh man, am I gonna die? I don't have 999 lives anymore. That coin should not have been allowed to spawn inside the box, but that's a problem for a future time. Alright, again, this position is like pretty much correct. So let's remove the pre-existings and then jump through again. Okay, so we removed the static always there viable hearts. And now the only thing left should be the spawned in viable hearts. Alright, cool. So yeah, we deleted the static and there's only these. Alright. I think I want to go to my viable item prefabs here and add a selection reticle as a child image. Do I have anything I can existing I can use? Definitely not camera 2. I need to like move it off to the side so I can actually preview what it looks like here. Come on, none of this is like an arrow. Am I really gonna have to go draw an arrow? That'd be such a pain. Oh wait, UI arrow down. We just flip that. I probably have to increase this slightly to have room for the arrow to go under. I'll call this selection arrow. And then we also want on these buyable objects, I think, on this shop item, I want description, a title and description text. Shop item heart, no, shop item base. Cost one time buy. String name me. And description, write this description. And then I can say like on these shop items, is just a heart. Heals a little bit. I'll say provide minor healing. Healing. How do I want to word this? There. Provides minor healing, provides healing, and then provides major healing. Oh wait, why is this wrong? Why is this always going to 1.65? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Now in our shop, when we spawn these items in, we also want to get their second sprite renderer. And disable it. What's the problem? Oh, I need a invoke. And a components. And I kind of want to functionize that. Toggle selection arrow will enable, or int index will enable. Then just this at index instead of I, and enable instead of false all the time. And then we can here say, all right, this should go with this. Toggle selection arrow, I, false. Okay. So basically we're going to have an index of which of these shop items we have selected. And left and right will just change that index. And one of them will be implicit of like leave the shop. Okay, so player in shop, private int m selected shop item index goes 0 by default. So when you enter the shop, you enable the shop input and you enable selection arrow. Or this should be not just selection arrow, this should be toggle selection. Update, title, and description text. Not yet, but just writing a note to myself. Actually, I do want this to be title. I changed my mind. I still will need to update the toggle and selection text, but I decided against merging those functions. Okay. 0 for base 5. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to need a new private void select shop item. We can maybe do a if -1 offer leave shop. But here we will toggle selection arrow and select the shop item index false. So unselect your current, select the next, and at the end of this, we will update the current. And the thing, we set this to true. Let me take a look at this shop. Okay, buy something. I think we want to override this shopkeeper text, which is just the first text. So we can just say transform the parent that get component and children first text is shop. Yeah, that's fine. Text mesh. And then we need a shop item base, which is shop items at index get component shop item base, and then our text.text is sib.title. You should be public. Oops, I updated the wrong thing. Public string. Okay. All right, we can't leave the shop yet. We'll set that up next. Let's do this first. So what do we expect? Oh wait, no, well, let's set up the index first. On input left, we just do select shop item I -1. And nothing on the confirm for now. And I'm pretty sure that won't handle -1 well, so I gotta remember not to hit left first. Right first, right first. Dang, tough jump, annoying. Ah, killing the game. These are on like the very edge. Right, there's our rest area. Here is our shop. Right first. Deep heart provides healing. Heart provides minor healing. Aha. It seems like it works. We did it, everyone. We're gonna move that text though. Gives him like a little bit more space. there. Oh, I gotta remember I can't move this. I gotta move this back and then move it on the text parent. Okay. Again, not on the text parent only. Just want to give it a decent chunk of space here. God, I keep moving the text. I'm so dumb. Okay. We could check that, but I don't think it's actually necessary. Okay. Do private void offer leave shop. If index equals -1, else if index equals m num spawn shop items. Here we're just gonna roll it, or I guess in both cases we roll it over. This is either edge. Set to -1 in either case. Or I guess, yeah, m selected shop item index equals -1. And then else, we do the normal stuff. Well, yeah, I guess we still want to do this. Do this in the common path. And then update this text. But we should do that in the common path as well. Why not? String new text. Initially this. And move this out here. Move this up. Don't need this. We just need new text is this. And then here we can do new text equals no thanks. Leave shop. It should be less than or equal to, just in case you hit left again. What else? I think this is good enough. Oh, I have to actually set the text. Text.text, new text. Cool. All right. So what can we? I don't even need this function, right? I just did it. It's these two lines. So yeah, we would hope to see that we can wrap around through the shop items. And that the one like off to the edge will be like leave the shop. Buy something. Oh. This is not correct. Damn. 61. And also I don't understand why the text is not flipped. I felt like it should still be flipped. But I guess the order of operations. Oh, I guess I have to put it in awake. It did matter after all. What else? Right, this crash. Shop 61. Shop items. Oh, I see. They can't be in the common path. If it might be -1. I guess I can just do this. Hide current selection arrow if selecting something. All right, let's go through again. We hope to see the fielder name materials multiple times. Mname. Okay, I think that's a fair problem. Shop item spawn manager. I'll call it display name or something. I thought about that. That did cross my mind that like, hey, is it gonna be fine that I use the word name? Now I can't find it. It would be a spawnable, I guess. I mean, I'm getting pretty tired. I'm starting to lose efficiency, but I want to get this end to end across the finish line here. Hide current selection says something. What was I looking for? Right, I need to fix the name on shop item base. Call it display name. And then somewhere where I was in shop here, I probably was using name. Yeah, you use display name instead. Hopefully that'll fix that. All right. We hope our text flip is fixed again. And we hope we can navigate through all of the shop options, including leaving the shop. Although none of the shop options do anything yet. Okay. I did, since they, so the reason I'm like navigating confusedly is because since it's a left-facing shop, since it is a left-facing shop, the controls are reversed. Also, since I changed the thing from name to display name, they aren't named anymore. So let's set the names. Name me Heart. You are a greater heart or big heart. I don't know. Did I have deep before? Deep heart. Gold heart. Okay. I also wanted to increase the offset because I felt like I couldn't really see the arrow. And I'm actually going to also increase the scale of the arrow. All right. And then I also want to increase the shop offset here to have more room for that arrow. Let's check real quick. The names and those offsets are all good. And then let's collect our thoughts on while we're climbing here. of what is the next step. I think the next step is just actually purchasing the stuff. Because that's the last sort of callback that has not been set up that like on confirm. So that would be our attempt to buy something. Gold heart. No thanks. I gotta probably think through how this text is gonna be laid out and stuff. Because I might want more text, and this is already kind of like not great, but it's correct enough. It's piping through the information. Okay. I think I want to save my player here, so I can free him from the freezing and stuff. Right. And then I don't need to pass it here. Let's do this. And then player is this. Don't need to pass this, that's why it's an error. So we have our player. So on input confirm, we want to know if mSelected shop item index is -1. That's a special case of leaving the shop. But otherwise, we want to buy the thing. I think I want to offload that to the shop item itself. But let's see the leave shop thing first. I think similarly, enable player control. Cool, enable. Just take this and switch all these falses to enable so that I can just call this true to turn it back on. I'm just gonna merge these to have a similar calling convention. Disable shop input, or this is enable shop input, false. Enable shop input, true. Okay. Private void, leave shop. We'll reset our selected spawn index to 0. We will private void re-enable shop. We're gonna disable the shop for a period of time, like probably just 5 seconds or something. I guess I'm debating just moving the player out of it or disabling it. I'll just move the player out of it. I don't like invokes that cause problems. But I do know if I'm facing left, which I can know since we're always off to the sides, we can just know bool facing left is if game object dot transform dot parent dot position dot x is less than 0. 0 is the center of the screen, so if we have a negative position, we're facing left. And then we can do, and new index is fix this other problem facing left. That should fix the flipped weird input problem. Okay. Can I just like Q move? In player, get component, Q, move by movement. Can I command you to move? It looks like I can. Move there is move there is if I'm facing left, it's right. So facing left, I am. It's vector to right, else vector to int, I think, dot left. And this needs to be a question mark. What's the problem? Oh, yeah, fair. That's fair. Move there. And movement scale, I don't know, 1. And I'm gonna have another flag bool here. And player leaving shop. That we'll reset it when they actually trigger exit. You should be in the shop and leaving the shop. And then I'm gonna move to update. The player is leaving the shop. We're just gonna move him whatever direction needs to move to get out of the shop. Move. This. Then we can say player in shop is false. And player leaving shop is false. And we will give the player back control here. Maybe do start leave shop. True. All right. Start leaving shop, and then we have private void leave shop. I should probably put those booleans in there as well. Okay. So we can do leave shop here when we actually exit the floor mat type dealio. Here we start leaving shop. And we'll add buying things next. Let's think. What are we expecting to see? Expecting to see the ability to leave the shop. And also the shop controls should be fixed for facing left now, like here. They're definitely not fixed. Let's pause this for a second. Double check it in the scene. Yep. We have our Bible heart. Has shop item heart. So I was thinking maybe it was a grandchild. That doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, we do have -18 here. It should be registering facing left. It is possible I just got it backwards. Let's check that. Oh, I tried to leave the shop and it didn't let me. What's up? How are we losing our player? Or maybe Q move I movement? On 190? I don't know, I need to check let's just look here. On input right, it's facing left. Oh. Yeah, this is backwards. What was the other thing? Right, player wasn't set. Or maybe Q move I movement wasn't set. Is player ever unset? I'm not sure on that last one. I think it might be related to mucking around in the scripts in between. I don't know, we'll see. So what do we expect to see? The navigation of the shop item should be fixed for on the left. But either shop orientation would be good to test that. Oh man, just too high. Am I dumb? I feel like I constantly decrease these values and it just doesn't matter. I still keep having jumps that are barely out of reach. I'm gonna die. Give me new platforms. That's I think I have that in the sort of to do sort of hierarchy. I think there's like next, soon, later, after or something. It's in the second group. It's in the second bucket. I'm not gonna do it in like the next week, but like the week after that, I'm gonna do the more precise platform spawning based on actual jump curves. I might have missed my shot because I'm zoomed in. Yeah, there's one down there. Alright, so I walk onto the mat. Alright, the order is correct. We're going left to right here. I maybe need an icon for no thanks, because like I kind of feel like I lose my conception of where I am in the shop. Let's try it. Still? It's okay, that was not a one-time thing. It has to be player, I guess. But I don't understand how that could be the case when the player should be set here on the first trigger enter. And I don't see it ever being unset. Right? I don't think trigger enter is going to get fired with a null collision value. So how are we losing the player? It's possible it finds the player but not a movement interface to change. Do you have a QMove? QMove platform is it is a movement interface, so that shouldn't be a problem. It probably is the player, but I don't understand how the player is being lost. I even was considering nulling out the player, and I'm like, why? I'll just keep it. I don't understand what could possibly be invalidating it, unless there's a new collision coming through here. Alright, I gotta split up the statement, I guess. I suspect it's the player, but we can find out. Eye movement is there? There. This will tell me whether it's the movement interface or the player that's null without me needing to actually debug. It's kind of dumb. Maybe that's like a good reason to get a new computer is like, I feel like it shouldn't be a factor that I don't want to wait like a bunch of time to set up a proper debug because it like so frequently like hangs and it's not very responsive. You know, that's not a good reason not to debug. It's not like, oh, I don't want to wait it 40 seconds for the launcher under debug. I'll keep missing this jump for no good reason. I have the height. Alright. Nothing happens if I try and buy these, which is what I expect, but if I try and leave, it says 191. Okay, it is the movement interface. That's actually surprising. Ah, I'm remembering now. This is not the player. Wait, it has to be. How would this work? I thought I added like a player child. Yeah, player modifiers being the thing. Oh yes, but this is referencing the parent. Let me rename this player shop collider. Player child shop collider. So yeah, similar problem to before. It's just I don't have the player itself. I have the player's child object. So I need to act on its parent, not on the object itself. There, this should work now. All right. So we'll load back into the game, and what we hope to see this time is the ability to leave the shop. And then I think if we get that working, we'll move on to buying stuff. Oh my god. Killing me with these jumps, game. I feel like there is can sometimes go further than I expect diagonally. So that's like a common bug. Alright, it's cool that the order flipping is still works on the right side. And it looks like it bumped me out of the place there. It didn't reset this text. I can add that. Why am I so slow? Something weird happened. Huh. Something about turning off the input listener has slowed down my speed permanently? Maybe it's something as a... Yeah, I'm definitely fast going up. And I want to go in and out of the shop, see if it's related to that. I'm trying to think what that could be. I didn't see any slowing. It could be more problems with those damn slowing plants. I didn't see any of them. I guess there's one on the edge here. But I'm still full speed for sure. Spry. Full speed in here. Can even jump past my man. Let's hop in, say buy something. I don't want to buy something. Yeah, now I'm slow as anything. Oh, I should have checked my movement speed before I stopped playing there. Is it? Am I incorrectly setting a movement scale or something? Why don't I just get... I'll just, instead of calling the movement interface directly, I'll just, like, spoof the input. So... Is that what I'm doing? That's kind of what I'm doing. Let me take a look at his input. What's wrong with you, input? Item movement, jump, move platformer. Oh, here. I think maybe I'm messing up my idle friction multiplier somehow. Maybe? I need the debug, unfortunately. Unless I can see it with my special eyes. I can just set the idle friction multiplier to 0. Yeah, but so I set the idle friction multiplier to 0. That's one thing to test. Makes me a bit floatier, a bit bouncier. Next thing to test would be, does the movement speed change? Is anything messing with the movement speed? And then I can, I guess, review the input, the enable function, to enable disable functions. I feel like it didn't happen that time, or I didn't notice it. Would that point to the problem being the idle friction multiplier? Yeah, I mean, I just turned on the idle friction multiplier again, and I went to very slow. So, and move this frame is not being properly set, I would guess. And the movement interface, false, protected, if clamp, and, or, huh. Oh, what's this M active? I should just use that, I think. Let's try using that instead. I still don't fully, I guess maybe it was the spray layer, but let's just set it to inactive. That seems like a better thing to do. So we'll disable its movement interface instead. Or QMove I platformer. Does it only the platformer movement does that? Platformer. Set active? Where is set active? I was just in there. What the hell? Is there a compiler? No, no compile problems. Q move I movement. Oh, because it's an array. That's why. Get component in parent. So that's why I'm just wondering why it wasn't auto-completing. It made me think that the function might not be exposed. Or not false, enable. Can I also disable the jump? See, why does this take like 5-10 seconds to load back into Unity and expand a thing? And now I've lost my place. There it is. Jump. How you doing it? Fix update. Blah, blah, blah. Do jump. On enable. Just gonna add another condition here and enabled. Because enabled only turns off the update. So if you have stuff that like other things call like this, you have to actually check it to block stuff you want to block. I don't think it was doing it completely. So yeah, we're not gonna directly hijack the input. We're gonna just tell the jump to turn itself off. Let's see if that works. There's some weird thing I think going on where the message, like it was still expecting to receive messages, but it's as if I like walked away. That also, there's some other bug there, right? That's still not what's supposed to happen. That time I went to the right of the box, which broke the assumption, which is pretty stupid. I can fix that though. Special shop. Good enough. I gotta think longer term what might be a nicer way to designate like stand here. Maybe just like a shop counter. I still have my idle gravity turned, my idle friction turned off, which is why I'm very floaty. So if I see the slowdown happen again. Oh, that time I scooted right through it. Same freaking problem. How annoying. That could also be added by fixed by re-adding friction, but I wanna see if I can narrow down the source of the problem to being friction. The extra game object inserted friction. So bad jumping today. I think I'm a little like out of expectation by changing this jump value. It doesn't like feel like what I expect it to anymore. In theory, it should give me more jump ability, but since it messes up how much I expect to jump, I miss. That just doesn't work. Did I comment it out? no. Oh, I only, did I actually increase the size of the collider? Yeah? Let me update the text in the leave shop case. New yes, text. Just go back to buy something. And I'm gonna give the player his friction back. It's annoying me too much, and I'm not sure if it might be related to move issues. Oh, yeah, it actually makes sense. It should be 100 instead of 0, right? But that's not the problem right now. I think it was 0.4. Okay, somehow I messed this up. Oh, because I disabled the movement interface. Crap. So I have to do this. There's no way around it. To be able to move the player, I can't disable the player's movement if I want to automatically move the player out of the shop as leaving the shop. So I have to disable the input listener. So I have to get a better understanding of this bug. It's possible I fixed it by accident and like random tinkering around, although I doubt it. Oh, you're killing me, trees. I'll get in there eventually. Oh, this should not be able to happen. I mean, I guess in all this playing, I've only happened to me once. Alright. Oh, this needs to be enable. Oh, this is not gonna like that. I think it was still happening there. Yeah, I'm just like walking through molasses. Alright, let's take a look at our move platformer. If I set this to 0, 0 is the correct value to set it to, I guess. Yeah, I'm back to normal, I'm pretty sure. So, something about enabling and disabling movements is making us no longer able to get in here somehow. Well, I should just debug this. I'm being lazy about debugging. I'm also getting pretty tired. I think I said that a couple times. I gotta stop soon. I don't think I'm gonna get to the last. I don't think I'm gonna even get to buying things because of this bug, unfortunately. Alright, now I pause the game. Add. Well, first, let's make sure it's still normal out here. It's when I enter here. Now let's add this. It's gonna say, yeah, I didn't move this frame. Didn't move this frame. Unfortunately. But I guess what I can do now is leave, trigger the bug, and now I'm in molasses. And why is that? Let's put our breakpoint back. It's so hard to get a move in. I think the better, since I can't really like move and break at the same time. I just need to debug, log, and move this frame. And I'll be able to see the counts increase based on the state. So if I should expect as I ascend the tower, the counts will like roughly being both increasing. Why is this not collapsing? Collapse? Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. So yeah, as I'm hopping around, I steadily see true increase because I have moved this frame. But if I stop, false starts to go up. Makes sense. It works as expected. So if the theory of the bug is accurate, after I leave the shop, I would expect it to only return false. And that is the case. Great. But why? Let's figure it out. If we can. I only have a little bit of time to figure it out here before I gotta call it a night. But I'm gonna try a bit. At least we confirm the theory of the bug. We know the workaround. Anyway, I need to look at that movement listener, I think. Because I'm still... Where does move this frame come from? It comes from if someone calls move on you and you're active and the movement direction isn't 0 and you don't have a clamper or your clamper successfully clamped some movement this frame, but there was still movement. But then, late update, we set move this frame to false. So let's take a look at this input listener maybe. It's possible its enable and disable isn't set up properly. It looks fine though. What is this? Allow movement. Maybe I should use that instead. Let's try that, see if it makes a difference. And that's probably like the last ditch effort before I have to leave it to a future time. All right. Something about fully disabling and then re-enabling the input listener is breaking the sort of connection or the order or something. Something assumed is breaking. And that assumed thing is leading and move this frame to always be false, which is leading the friction multiplier to always be applied, which is gimping, like making the speed horrible as soon as you get out. So, does that make any difference? Yep. Oh, awesome. I was worried I was gonna have to end the night with that broken. Alright, let's take a look at where we're at here. Pause the game. Foundation for upgrades generalized, I'm gonna say partial. We didn't get to the end where we add more upgrades here. Discrete state of buying where arrows instead cycle through shop items. I'm gonna say mostly, because we didn't actually get the item buy. We got entering the shop, doing the arrow cycle, and leaving the shop. Unfortunately, a few confusing bugs slowing us down. Also, I think I'm just a bit tired today, maybe from work, and I had a lower rate of productivity than in the past. I don't think it's a total loss. I think this is decent. You know, I can also make up a lot of the distance I lost here today, or like a lot of the progress that I had hoped to make today over the 4th of July long weekend. I'm going to be doing a little bit of extra work. Hopefully we'll have another large batch of changes for next week's stream. And next week's stream I might either do like earlier in the day on July 4th or same time on July 3rd. I'm not sure yet, but one of those two options I'm going to do instead of Tuesday night, July 4th, I think. Alright, so here, I'll hop back to the game. So in summary, we added a little upgrade with the hope of being able to offer it in the shop. And to do that, we needed to make some fixes to the shop. The majority of those fixes are in now. We can cycle through items. We're in a discrete state of being in the shop that we can enter and exit. but we can't actually buy these items. You probably can't hear me slamming space bar, but selecting these does nothing so far, and we don't offer any upgrades in the shop, although by setting up a full shop item spawn manager here, offering future items in the shop should be relatively trivial. All right. Thanks for watching the stream or VOD. Please like, subscribe, follow, whatever. Quiet Bench Sen, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. And I, again, stream normally Tuesdays, 6:15 Pacific. But next week for the 4th of July, it'll be off slightly. Anyway, have a good night.